It's the Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. It's the Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. It's the Evan edition.
Welcome back to the Evan edition, where we talk movies, TVs, comics, pop culture, and everything in between. I'm your host, Evan Bernstein, and tonight is a very special episode because Spider-Man Brand New Day is finally here, and we are doing a full live spoiler discussion. If you have not seen the movie yet, bookmark this episode and come back afterward because we're going to be getting into it, and we want you guys to be here for the conversation. We'll start with our overall reactions, revisit some of the predictions and rumors we covered over the past year to see what actually happened and maybe what did not, and then dig into the film about Peter's journey, the themes, the performances, the relationships, the amazing action, the directing, and what all of this could mean for Spider-Man moving forward. And then tonight, me and Samantha are going to be drafting our own teams of Spider-Man movies. And all of you get to decide who built the better lineup. Joining me tonight is Samantha. Samantha is a cosplayer, model, and a huge Spider-Man and Marvel fan and a writer. One of the reasons I was excited to have her on the show was her love for these characters because it always feels so genuine. She clearly understands why Spider-Man means so much to people, and I thought she would be a fantastic person to have on the show for our first live conversation together. So Samantha, welcome to the Evan edition.
Thank you for having me on. I'm so excited. Talk about Spider-Man.
I know. I can't wait. Hello, Blonde. How are you? Thanks for tuning in.
Hey.
Well, we are live, so anything can happen. And I have been waiting to get into this. We actually had this plan for quite a while. We were trying to figure out like when to get you on the show. And then we were like, oh my gosh, like Spider-Man spoiler discussion would be such a great way to start our online live discussion journey. So I wanted to get to know you a little bit better in your relationship to Spider-Man and to Marvel and these characters that we love. Is there one version of Spider-Man, like a movie, comic, show, or performance that really made him your character?
Well, I will say that Spider-Man is like the first superhero that I was ever introduced to as a young lass. My dad is a huge comic book guy, so naturally he raised me on superhero movies. And I want to say I was very young when the Tobey Maguire movies came out, but I'll never forget. Like I remember being a young child and just remembering that scene in the first Spider-Man movie where he catches all the food in the cafeteria on the tray from Mary Jane. So I feel like just being that young, I feel like Spider-Man has been a part of my life for a long time. Like he honestly he was like the gateway drug to like Marvel heroes and superheroes in general. Because then after Spider-Man, it was Fantastic Four and what, the Chris Evans, like Johnny Storm, Fantastic Four. And I remember watching like the Daredevil Ben Affleck movie when I was young. So I just want to say like, I feel like Spider-Man is just like a really good, he's like an icon for me, like representing my journey into like loving superheroes. So
that's really beautiful. I love that. Yeah, I love that scene. Did you know that it was practical? Like it was a practical effect that he caught all this stuff on the tray in real time?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like, I feel like the Raimi movies in general are so practical, and that's what makes them so special. So even as a kid, I feel like I was like, damn, that looks real.
Yeah, it was cool seeing that first representation of like a live action Spider-Man, because I grew up with, the animated series and comic books, and there was a VHS. I'm aging myself. There was a VHS that was like a failed pilot of X-Men. It was called like the Pride of the X-Men because Kitty Pryde was like your through character to meeting everyone. And on the VHS, there is like a credit card commercial with Spider-Man, a live action dude in the suit. So as a kid, I was like, oh my God, like a live action Spider-Man. Like that was my first like live action Spider-Man, was this random commercial that played on a VHS before a failed X-Men animated pilot. I wanted to ask you also, through your cosplay and the content that you create, what do you enjoy most about connecting with other people in this fandom?
What do I enjoy most about connecting with other people in like
This
cosplay and fandom? That's what
in
you.
this yeah, in this fandom, in this world, yeah.
Honestly, so let me start from the beginning. So in high school, I felt like I had very good friends in high school, and I'm still very close with them to this day. But
Mhm.
of them, like I was the only one who really loved superheroes the way I did. So as I started to come into my own and have more freedom, my own like adult spending money, I can make decisions to go to conventions, stuff like that. I think my favorite thing about being around people who share similar interests is literally just that. If we all speak the same language, can make references to movies, and people will know what I'm talking about. And I also just like, connecting with people from different walks of life, different parts of the country, even like out of the country too. I have one of my
Mhm.
very good friends who lives in Scotland. Shout out to Heather. So I think, I don't know, it's just beautiful to make friends in this space, and in that get to know people beyond the things that we share interest in. um, and I think that's probably my favorite part, like just meeting people, connecting with people, socializing. It's just so fun. I love it. And I like having my friends who have like their specific characters that they love, so it's nice to know like why people resonate with the characters they choose. And yeah, it's my favorite part.
That's awesome. I really, really love that. And I love seeing everyone's kind of journey into that world, and everyone comes from it from like a unique way, but there's so many things to bond over or to discover or to rediscover together, and such a beautiful community that's just like ever evolving and breathing, and it's like it has its own life, and I think that's really fascinating.
Yeah.
Hey Cece, welcome to the chat, thanks for tuning in. Awesome. Well, we've waited long enough. Thank you so much for getting us to know a little bit more about your journey and about your connection with Spider-Man, your gateway drug to the Marvel universe. I'm going to kick us off with my overall reaction, and then I want to hear from you where you landed with the movie. So I have seen the movie twice now. I saw it in XD, and then last night I took my brother to see it for his first time and saw it in Screen X, which this is, I think, the first movie that was screened intentionally for Screen X. So I was like, well, let's see what it's about. And so my initial reaction is this was awful. No. This was I absolutely love this movie. And I think it gets better every time you watch it. It's easily among probably the top 5 of my favorite Spider-Man movies. I know you need a little bit more time to sit with it, but after 2 times, I just really felt that this is a very special movie, and it deals with so many personal things. And I think Tom Holland gives one of his strongest and most mature performances as Peter Parker. And I think the movie understands both sides of this character: Spider-Man, the extraordinary hero, and Peter Parker, the vulnerable human being beneath the mask. And it delivers on the action and the spectacle, but still remains small and emotional with its relationships, which I think is what makes this movie really special. And for the longest time, everyone's been saying, Iron Man Jr., I'm not a big fan of the Home trilogy. I really enjoy those movies. And I thoroughly think without those movies, we would not have gotten this good of a more mature Spider-Man movie. And so I really felt that it was about time, that everything that we saw with Tom Holland's Peter Parker's journey has led to allowing for a more grounded, street level Spider-Man without making the world feel too small. There's all these different villains. There's the DODC, there's the Hulk and the Punisher, and it felt contained, was still living within such a larger universe. And I really thought that that balance was really well done, especially when you consider like how many characters there were in this movie. It never felt too cluttered to me, and I thought that was such brilliant writing, and it was really something I enjoyed. And then on top of that, like every major character, they have something to say. They're not just a background or a side character. They all contribute to Peter's journey rather than feeling like a random MCU cameo, which we have witnessed before. So I really enjoyed a lot of those aspects. I think Peter got to learn, that asking for help is not a weakness. Depending on people does not automatically endanger them. And he deserves love and friendship and community and support. And being Spider-Man does not require him to punish Peter Parker. And those messages were so clear and so beautiful. And that's really why I fell in love with this movie. All right, Sam, you've heard from me in my initial thoughts. What are your initial thoughts about Spider-Man Brand New Day?
Well, I'll tell you this, like going into watching Brand New Day, I was just happy to be sat for another Spider-Man movie. It has been so long since we like have last seen him. And I knew this one was going to be super special just because, we get to see him. I remember at the end of No Way Home, he had like that suit on that is like so beautiful and so like true to the original comics. I was like, we need a movie with Tom Holland in that suit, and we got it with Brand New Day. Watching it, I was literally just filled with pure joy. And I said this on another podcast, like, I feel like Spider-Man is just like, that's his essence, like just joy, but also like humility. And I feel like we got that in this movie. Following after seeing it and sitting there when the credits were rolling, I was like, yeah, this was a really good Spider-Man story. I love the themes of grief and change in it. Mostly the theme of change is what resonated with me. So I really liked seeing, Peter out on his own, alone, living alone, and like just basically throwing himself into the Spider-Man world and, facing those struggles and also struggling with accepting that things change and you have to let people go. It was a lot of like living with the past, I felt like, which is pretty tough, in real life. So the thing that I love about Spider-Man is just that he's so relatable, and I felt like all those themes are very relatable, and I think the movie did like a beautiful job of conveying that and telling it through, his past with MJ and Ned. And I was actually we're talking about spoilers. I was really I was happy to see Aunt May for a little bit on the screen too. So
What? No, I'm just saying.
So yeah, like I thought the use, like you said, like the use of every character, they weren't just like sidelined or there for no reason. I felt like everyone really contributed to the story. I love the use of the Hulk, and obviously like Spider-Man and Punisher's dynamic was just so good, so perfect. I love when other characters from the MCU like jump into someone else's movie, but it makes sense. So yeah, those are my initial thoughts. Like I loved it. It was so much fun. It was just good to see him swinging on the screen again. And I really loved seeing like the growth with all the characters for me. Like really, really all of them. Mostly the core three, like MJ, Peter, and Ned. So yeah, it felt like it was, no pun intended, but it felt like coming home to the screen and watching it.
Ooh, that was good. That was really good. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, it makes me giddy even talking about Spider-Man and thinking about this movie. And Yeah, I can't wait to really dive into all the characters and the themes and the specific scenes, and we're definitely going to get into that. Let's say hello to a few more people in the chat. Zach is here. What up, Zach? CC is happy that Zach is here. Zach is happy that CC's here.
Aw.
Zach loved your pun, so great pun already, kicking it off. And yeah, it was very, very cohesive storytelling. It was very
Yes.
tight, and it really felt to me like we haven't really had this tight of a story since Winter Soldier. I really felt like
Best
this was best MCU movie, and it felt like this was getting back to that kind of quality, that quality of storytelling, that this doesn't have to be just a superhero story. This is not just a superhero story. This can be anyone's story. Everyone has dealt with isolation and not not resting on your community because you feel like that might not be the right thing for you, that you need to do things on your own, that you need to do things alone. And there's so many themes that are so mature in this that it doesn't really feel like just a superhero movie or just a Spider-Man movie. And I thought that was so smart in how to write this character for hopefully this new trilogy. So like we said in the beginning, one of the coolest things about finally having this movie here is that we have been covering it on the Evan edition for more than a year. We've talked about rumors, casting reports, leaks, footage, theories, descriptions of trailers. So before we fully break down the finished movie, I thought it'd be fun to revisit some of those old takes and see what we nailed, what was partially right, and was probably completely wrong. Are you ready to dive into some of these takes, Sam?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Here is the first one. Multiple scoopers have reported that the Punisher will have a female sidekick and that Sync's character will be someone Peter Parker trusts before she's outed as an antagonist. Instead, one of the Rawcrawler's college classmates secretly being Frank Castle's protege, who Peter's forced to fight as Spidey, adds up a little bit more. And it's also a classic Spider-Man trope. This trope where Spider-Man is friends with this person from school, and then lo and behold, because of something that happened to them, they become on the wrong side of Spider-Man and become their villain. And this could potentially be the road that is going to be led down by the actress Sadie Sink. Oof. Well, Sam, did this was Scooper's report, but was Sadie Sink the sidekick of the Punisher?
Absolutely not. I mean, you're right about the Punisher, obviously. Like, okay, you got that down.
The Punisher.
That's so funny.
Do you
I feel like
this rumor at all? Like she had like camo pants. There was like a picture of her on set with like camo kind of pants and boots. And so a lot of people were saying like, oh, she's this character from the comics that was his sidekick. So everyone was running with that.
Oh my gosh. No, I feel like I remember seeing like one behind the scenes picture of her, but I don't remember the camo pants. Never even heard of this theory, but I feel like that would have been too reminiscent of season 2 of the Punisher, because he had I forget her name, but he also had the young girl that he was like protecting. So
yeah,
I mean,
I love season 2 of the Punisher. I think
so good.
In my opinion, I think it's better than season 1. I love that opening episode where he kind of falls in love with this bartender, and it's like kind of it's like a contained Frank story. I absolutely love it. After I saw the special, I was like, okay, let's watch the season again. Like, I love John Bernthal. Okay, here is another one. Keep in mind, this is over a year, so it's throughout a year.
I definitely want to see Frank and Spider-Man interact. They have awesome interactions in the comics. I think bringing that to live action is perfect.
I totally agree. And I'm so excited to see these two. The juxtaposition of Peter, who believes people can be saved, and Frank, who believes some people need to be stopped permanently, that lends to such good storytelling about
Yeah.
what it means to be a hero, half measures, and where the line begins and end when it comes to being a vigilante. And they've done it a lot of it with Daredevil, but I really think such a high profile superhero like Spider-Man to really show that duality of what a hero can be with John Bernthal's Punisher is going to make it for a real treat and something that I'm really excited to see develop. Okay.
Right on the money.
Not bad. Yeah, I think you're right. I really think, and we're going to dive all into this, but yeah, I think that relationship of how different those two heroes are really lent well to the themes that are going on with Peter's character. And I thought that was they were so great acting off of each other because they're so different. It's gonna be funny because Zach and Cece are gonna see themselves in some of these takes over the years. And I'm also seeing like, oh wow, I've had a lot of people on my show in the past year. Okay, here's another one about Sadie. I love how we can see each other with it in the middle. Also, if this is, if you're watching or if you're listening to it on like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, this is not me talking. These are past, these are past clips. Okay, here's the next one. We know she's Jean Grey. They're being very coy, but she's Jean Grey. Come on, like we know. They're starting to connect Spider-Man with the X-Men by using Jean Grey in his movie first, and then it gives me hope that we will see Spider-Man at the X Mansion with the other X-Men, that there is some more potential crossover, because I just found that so fascinating, because that was my first introduction to like, this is all a lived-in universe. They're all so this was probably the point where we kind of were getting closer to knowing, before, Steve Lacy spoiled it on the red carpet. This was much before that, but it was getting pretty confirmed that this is an X-Men character, that they are going to start tying in X-Men to the bigger tapestry of the MCU, and starting with Spider-Man is a great way to start it, because my dream, which I was saying, was to see Spider-Man dropping in at the X Mansion, and now he has a real deep relationship with one of the core members. So I think we'll probably get closer to seeing that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, here we go. We'll watch a couple more and then we'll get into this. Okay, this is about Tremel Tillman from Severance fame. When we were wondering who his character was going to be, this was my hope for who this character was going to be. I think he would make a great Norman Osborn. Right now on Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the animated series, which if you haven't seen is fantastic. Coleman Domingo is voicing the character right now and is doing a fantastic job. If I could see him finally being introduced as a Norman Osborn.
But I mean, we just had Osborn in the last movie.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, I just think he's such a great actor, and it was like hot off of that show, and so I was like, okay, like maybe they're hinting that this Norman Osborn is going to be black, and Coleman Domingo voices it, who like I would love to see in live action. A lot of people want him as a King replacement, but I was like, oh my god, like Tremel Tillman, like they're gonna use him, like he just won an Emmy. But he was the director of the DODC and not Norman Osborn. And then Zach is saying, I wish he was Norman Osborn. That would have been better than what we got. Do you think that's true?
I mean, I'm happy with either reality, honestly.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad about the DODC reveal, but feel like we'll talk more about our opinions on that whole storyline anyway. But I've been waiting for Osborn to be mentioned in any of these movies, so
Same.
that would have been cool.
Yeah, hopefully he's still coming. I don't want them to say, well, we did it in No Way Home. I'm like, but that's not his version.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see more of our, 616 version. But I agree with Cece. I mean, I love Trammell. So like seeing him on screen, I'm like, oh, he's gonna eat up this scenery. And it's obvious, like from the beginning, we're like, he's evil, right? Like he's not gonna be like a chill, nice guy.
Put a pin in that. I just remembered something.
Okay, put a pin in that. Is it about
Okay.
Trammell?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right, let's take a look at. Oh, this was a good one. This is about the 4-year jump. Because then we found out when we got the synopsis that we're skipping the college years.
Okay.
All these kind of things you need to figure out now that you have no resources, you have no friends, you have no family. That's a very interesting way into this character. But we're skipping that, is what they're saying. We're going 4 years after that. So I'm wondering, is the 4 years after that more interesting than those 4 years themselves? And that is the question that this movie is now going to have to answer.
Yeah.
It makes sense because, it has been over 4 years since the actual movie came out, but it didn't mean that they had to do a 4-year jump in universe.
Right.
And so now they need to prove to the audience that that was the right move. And that is something that could either hurt or help the movie. And so that's really what I'm curious about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it helped at this point, the 4-year jump.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I felt like even like without knowing the whole lore, I felt like they made us know the characters so well. You don't even really need to, have a bunch of explanation. It's easy to pick it up.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that intro, the first 10, 15 minutes of seeing him Spider-Man over the 4 years and fully dive deep into just being Spider-Man was very telling of where he's at after those 4 years, constantly checking in on social media to see what, Ned and MJ are doing and missing out on it. And so I really think it helped the movie to skip 4 years, show what happened over those quickly.
Yeah.
But I think it lent well to this story that should be told now. And I really like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get out of here. Let's talk about the movie. I'm dying to talk about this. Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for diving in those clips with me. For some of them, I'll take a victory lap. For others, I'll take a dive in the bushes and hide lap. But those are the things that were being reported. Oh yeah, there was one. This is what I was telling you about. You had that momentum. You had.
I definitely want to see.
We know she's Jean Grey. There'll be all these kind of things. I think he would start it as a room. You had that momentum. You had that hype. This was supposed to be the year of Spider-Man. There was one where I was like complaining, like, where is the trailer? But it's fine. Okay. Let's dive into it. We've celebrated the wins and publicly embarrassed myself enough. I want to get into the finished movie and why I think it works. And Brand New Day has a lot happening. Multiple villains, MCU characters, mutants, old relationships, new relationships, enormous action set pieces, and yet it still feels emotionally focused. And the reason it works is Peter. And so I would love to dive in with the focus of this story on Peter and his journey, because every other part of this conversation really connects back to him. I wanted to ask you, what did you think of Tom Holland's performance as Peter Parker in this movie?
I loved it. I think it was definitely his best performance of all the films so far. I feel like we saw a side that we didn't usually ever have ever seen before, because we're so used to him being like this happy-go-lucky high schooler. He's got his friends, like he had Aunt May, but this time he's like truly fully alone. And I think Tom did like such a great job of, you know, showing us that other side. Like, you know, Peter is multifaceted. Like where we're used to seeing him so outgoing and happy-go-lucky and all this stuff. Like now we're seeing him kind of like little insecure, sad, and you know, feeling like he's still trying to keep that happy-go-lucky sense. Like even when he was talking to D Wolf and he's like, "No, I got it. Like I'm good." He's like trying to put up a front, but you know, like as we get to see him in his private moments, like he's actually, you know, breaking down inside and changing, and he doesn't know how to handle all that change. And I think Tom did a great job. I think he knows Peter like the back of his hand, just as we know, you know, Peter Parker and Spider-Man as people enjoying the character. So I think Tom gave his best performance yet, and I hope we keep seeing more of his Peter in this new grown-up version.
I totally agree. I think it was really smart to use Peter's physical transformation to understand what he's going through as a character. Like Peter's emotional instability is reflected in his body and what's going on, and his arachnid DNA is beginning to take over more of his human DNA, so he's truly losing his identity. We already know the world forgot about Spider-Man, or sorry, about Peter Parker, but now his core of Peter Parker is going away, and that is extremely scary and frightening. You know, Peter is changing. His body is becoming something he cannot fully control. His aggression increases, and his loss of control during like the Scorpion fight makes him genuinely dangerous. And he nearly severely hurts a police officer. And so I really feel like the transformation externalizes everything Peter's feeling internally: anger, grief, fear, shame, loss of control. And I really think this is Tom Holland's victory lap, because we know he's such a great actor, but he hasn't really gotten to like really show his chops throughout the last three movies. A lot more in No Way Home, especially that fight at the end with Norman Osborn. I thought that was absolutely incredible. But we know Tom Holland can act. He might have chosen some, you know, questionable projects since Spider-Man, but he is a great actor. And I think this was the true Spider-Man movie to show how good of an actor he is when he's dealing with all these really serious problems that every human goes through when your body is changing, when you're coming of age. And that doesn't mean like when you're going through puberty. That means when you're figuring yourself out in high school, when you're figuring yourself out again in college, when you're figuring yourself out again as an adult after college. There's all these stages within every person that we go through. And so to see Spider-Man deal with something so human, it was really great way into Tom Holland's great acting skills. And I really enjoyed that. And Cece was saying she totally agrees. Definitely Tom Holland's best Peter Parker performance. I'm now thinking of another take that I had another take where, because like we've been seeing background you know, photos and videos like since they were filming day one in like Glasgow. And I was just saying, like, Tom Holland as a person embodies who Peter Parker and Spider-Man is as a character. He gives the fans his time. He appreciates and respects being this character so much. And he fully owns the responsibility of playing such an iconic superhero that I don't think anyone else can play Spider-Man exactly like Tom does. It's going to be big shoes to fill, which means you're probably going to have to do something very different, a la Miles Morales. So hopefully that's what we get. And then Cece was saying the dark, lonely, sad Peter Parker landed better for me, unfortunately. Yeah, Because it's real. Because it's real and it's relatable. My spider DNA also did rude during puberty. Very nice. Let's transition to Peter's relationship. Oh, not you. This go away. Let's transition to Peter's relationships. You know, the film does not teach Peter that that there's one lesson to learn through one giant speech by the superhero that he looks up to, like Iron Man. It teaches him through the people around him, multiple people. Every important relationship offers Peter something different. Ned gives him friendship. MJ reminds him how to live and be human. And I can't wait to talk about that scene, offers him to come up and talk to Ned. DeWolf gives him trust and accountability. Bruce shows him what community and purpose looks like when he's being a teacher. And Frank shows him what happens when grief and isolation become your entire identity. And so it's really amazing that each one of these relationships were a small piece of Peter's larger journey. And that's why I want to talk about these relationships. And the first one I want to dive into is our boy. That's right. Ned Leeds. And I was thinking about this on the way home yesterday. I feel like Jacob Backbone's portrayal of Ned is incredibly underrated. He is such a sweet, smart, and endearing person that Ned grounds both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I feel like the connection that he has to someone that's like so lived in and so real really grounds a hero that's so famous and so big, larger than life. And I think that is a big task that Jacob had in playing Ned over these 10 years. The friendship feels so human and so lived in, and it makes Spider-Man feel more grounded because this is the best friend that he chooses. And Jacob plays it very subtly, but brilliantly. He never makes Ned feel like he exists only to like deliver jokes, which he has, great ones of, being the guy in the chair. And I also think Ned may be the best on-screen superhero best friend or sidekick that we've had. And we've had a lot. We've had Rhodey with Iron Man, Sam with Captain America. Like, we've had a lot of great friendships that only strengthen the main hero. But Peter and Ned feel the most pure, authentic, and lived in to me. And I need to give Jacob his flowers. How did you feel about Ned's portrayal in this movie and just Jacob's portrayal of Ned overall, because we've seen him for so many years now?
I love that we're starting with Ned. I wasn't expecting it, but I'm happy we are because I too feel like Jacob's performance is underrated. And I totally agree with all your points about this friendship between Peter and Ned being the most like authentic and pure, just because it comes from such like a organic place. I I just love Ned's sweet disposition in every scene he's in. Like he truly does mean well. I love that you brought up the guy in the chair joke because I use that to this day. Like in my everyday in real life, um, when I'm at work or with my friends, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're the guy in the chair. So he is definitely one of my favorite, friendship sidekicks in the MCU. I agree with you where he grounds Peter. And I think part of it is because like Tom and Jacob's chemistry is so good. And the fact that they're all like within the same age, I feel like it really resonates with me because I remember when Homecoming came out, what was that, like 2017?
Yeah,
I was a senior in high school at the time. So I really
perfect.
felt like it was so relatable. So, you know, having them, growing up with it and then like going through my college years with the other movies coming out now to this one brand new day with Peter living on his own alone, where I'm living alone for the first time in my life. It all just like hits different. So yeah, I love Ned. I love Jacob's performance. I think he's not just the comic relief. Like he really like the gag of it is that he genuinely is just a good friend and a good person. And he, you know, I the other thing that I love one of the scenes when you mentioned it before, but when MJ invites Spider-Man to come up and say hi to Ned, and they're all just like sitting around the coffee table. I think like the pure essence of their friendship is when Ned is trying to figure out what's in Peter's web fluid, and they're just kind of like going back and forth these like science terms, and it's not even like they're joking around. It's just like bouncing ideas off of each other is what makes their friendship so strong. And I think it's like a it's not just like a give and take friendship. It's literally like, you know, both their support comes from both of them. And that's why it works so well. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I just thought about so many Ned moments as you were saying that, and I love that homecoming one where he's like watching porn, you know, to like get the teacher off.
Yeah.
It's just so shocking. Like he's like,
It's so funny. He
it's
just
so
doesn't even
good.
realize how funny he is.
So good, and he's just so good in this. Like the intro of being like, "Don't give me the energy drink. I'll take two though."
Yeah,
But
I'll
this
take
is
it.
the
Yeah.
last one. It's just like, oh my god,
He's just
like
he's unapologetically himself, and he just like is genuinely like so interested in everything. And I just rewatched No Way Home like 2 nights ago when he walks into like the Sanctum Sanctorum, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy." And then I forget what they call it, but Doctor Strange is like, "You can work in the Undercroft." I think he says.
Undercroft.
He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, and he's like, "The Undercroft," and then they go down. It's literally the dingiest basement. He's like, "Badass," and he's just happy to be there. Like he's just like he really the way he has is so pure intention. Like he expects others to also have that same intention, even if like Doctor Strange is being a little snarky. He still
Right.
takes it as like a positive thing. Such a great character.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And should we talk about the handshake at the end, or should we talk
I don't
about
know.
it now?
I mean, whatever. I'll talk about it now, later.
Got it up. We got it up.
Brought up,
Okay,
yeah.
so at the end, you know, I think it's really beautiful because, you know, Peter has learned not to isolate himself, and he sees Ned in the bodega eating, and he smirks, and you think he's going to walk away, and he's like, "No, I'm going to go say what up," you know, and they have this moment, and then there's like this muscle memory of their iconic handshake that we've seen over the past 10 years. And so there's a debate online. People are thinking, you know, at the end of this, when he says Peter, that something unlocked in him with the gene stuff where he remembers, or it jogged his memory. Others are saying that when MJ says Peter to him and he's like, Spider-Man's name is Peter, that he's just recognizing that this gentleman is actually Spider-Man, not knowing all the memories from before. When you saw this moment, and after sitting with it for a little bit, and you saw the movie twice as well, correct?
Yeah.
What was your interpretation of that final scene of the entire movie?
I definitely think it was muscle memory.
Okay.
When it comes with, you know, I want to say, I think he does remember Peter. I don't know if he calls back to when MJ says Peter.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I think he does remember him, despite me wanting him to like not remember him, if that's a controversial take, because I feel like that would undo everything that Peter learned in No Way Home. I do think he ends up something clicks. I don't know if like people are saying like other theories that like when Jean like had everybody frozen, she like triggered everybody's
Unlocked some.
memory. Yeah, unlocked it like you said. But I don't know. I almost don't want him to remember. I feel like I just want him to be like, "Oh, Peter, like you might
Like a
be
new friendship,
Spider-Man."
a
Yeah,
new guy in the chair, if you will.
a
Now
new
that
guy
he
in the chair.
knows, I love that. Okay, my wife says, I think you remembered after the handshake. Okay.
I think the handshake like made him like like it did something. Like I don't
It
know,
put
but
it
but
unlocked
also
something. Yeah.
yeah, but also you know, in No Way Home, he's like, you know, my aunt says that we have like magic in our family. He got like the
He
sorcery
did that.
thing. So if there's anyone who could remember it and break Doctor Strange's spell, I feel like maybe it would be Ned. You
He
know, to
did the
go
Marvel
past that.
sparkles. Yeah.
Yes.
He did
Which
it.
is the best part of that movie. It's so good. um, yeah, I don't
But
know. What do you
he
think?
can't close it, you know?
Yeah.
um what do I think? Well, one, I do think what Cece's saying, she said handshake at the end gave me goosebumps, not gonna lie. I pay more attention the second watch, but felt like muscle memory.
Agreed.
And I would say that first seeing that handshake happen again in the theater, and this being the closing of this chapter for Peter and Spidey, it gave me goosebumps. I was like, oh my God. Sitting with it though, I do think, oh my God, I'm really torn. I don't know the way that because I just saw it last night again, you know. Um, and then on the way home, my car died. I'm like, cool, great.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was a really great night. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, the way that he says Peter, it's not like Peter, you're Spider. You know, he wasn't like you're Spider-Man. You know,
Yeah.
he didn't say it like that, like Spider-Man. He was like Peter, like something unlocked in him. I think he remembered him from his past.
Yeah.
Even if all those memories didn't come flooding back, because that would be like, oh, you know, like it'd be way more intense than like
Mhm.
Peter. I do think there is a part of him that remembers that he was in his past in some capacity.
Yeah.
I guess I'm siding now in my mind live. So that's what happened.
It's on the record.
Cece, I need to make up a cool handshake with my friends. It's the least I can do. Yeah, true. I know. It was not the place where it died was not a good place to have a
Oh,
car
damn.
die. It was a little scary.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I love what you said about Ned and MJ and their connection to Spider-Man and Peter, which brings me to my next point, because I believe also, oh man, I'm not putting in my little head or like my lower thirds.
Ooh.
That leads directly into one of the quietest scenes in the movie for me. And you alluded to this. And honestly, it's one of my favorites. And it's the kind of scene that reminds me why I fell in love with the MCU in the first place. Let me bring this bad boy up. But this was really a quieter moment that really made me think like this is when the MCU is firing on all cylinders. And this is when MJ invites Spider-Man upstairs because Ned would really love to see Spider-Man. And it's such a simple and beautiful moment. Obviously, Spider-Man would love to see Ned too. And even though Ned does not fully understand what that relationship once was, it's still such a special scene. And nothing enormous happens. They're just in an apartment, talking, spending time together, nerding out. It is extraordinary people being extremely normal and human. And I really fell in love with this scene, and it definitely got me teary-eyed when MJ shows the picture that she drew of them being friends again, which was really endearing. But what it really reminded me of was this particular scene in the Age of Ultron Avengers movie. And there is a scene in that movie where it's just a party scene, right? And Captain America is drinking with Thor and Stan Lee, and Warhammer is telling, you know, famous Avengers stories. And it's a very like simple, quieter moment, but it was such a interesting moment to just live with these characters as humans. And this really gave me that reminder that the MCU, which is known for its giant action and spectacle, but what I think is it often shines its brightest moments when it's quieter, when these extraordinary people are simply allowed to be human. And with this moment of these three old best friends, whether they know it or not, was a quieter moment that really shows the strengths of what we've come to love with the MCU. Did you get that feeling at all with this quieter moment of these three rock star actors and
Yes,
characters?
yes, absolutely. I didn't know what she was doing on the sketchbook, but when it was revealed that she drew that, like it felt like my heart melted, honestly, because like you said, you don't need anything big or flashy to happen to show that these characters are friends. Like all you need is just them sitting around a coffee table, Ned trying to figure out what's in Spider-Man's web fluid, and MJ just like quietly observing, their friendship repertoire, and then that is what feels you just feel that connection between all three of them. um yeah, I love that scene. It's very good. It felt so it was very bittersweet too, because it's like they're right there, like Ned is
Like
so
in
close.
reach.
Yes, but
Yeah.
it's like not quite connecting, and it's because of the spell, and it feels so natural, and it's like I can't imagine
Make me
Peter in that
teary-eyed.
scene. Yeah, like I can't imagine Peter actually being in that scene and just like, you know, pretending that that's not the reality, because it feels so natural talking to Ned, and like them doing the references with the voice. I'm not sure what exactly they were referencing, but you
Yeah,
just know
I know. I was not sure.
you're right. But you just know because of their dynamic and how natural the conversation flows, like it feels like old friends, and the audience, we know that they
Right.
were all such close friends, and it's because of, like you said, reminds you why the MCU kind of like wins us over, because they spent so many years brewing these friendships. So when we get to a moment like that, it's like it reminds us of the beginning, and where we're at now, and it's just crazy the journey that all of them have been on and how they got there, and yeah, bittersweet.
Oh man.
So good.
So good. It's so good. And there's a lot of good quieter moments. And the one I want to talk about next, it's a heartbreaker. It's a big heartbreaker because
Ooh.
we finally get a moment of Peter and MJ alone. And it looks like it's going to be a really beautiful moment where MJ starts putting things together, rolls up his mask, very a la Tobey Maguire. And we're like, great, we're going to get a classic Spider-Man MJ kiss with the mask rolled up. This is beautiful. I'm eating it up with the backdrop of New York, setting us all up for a sadness, because we find out that Jean has entered MJ's mind and impersonates her, and she makes Peter believe that MJ finally remembers him. And Peter is given the exact thing he's desperately wanted: recognition, love, the possibility that his old life has returned. And Jean does not only invade MJ's mind, she weaponizes Peter's hope against him. And that is the thing that really stung. The cruelty is not only physical, it's psychological. And Jean is targeting Peter's deepest emotional wounds. And it reinforces how frightened, desperate, and dangerous Jean has become. And it also explains why Peter initially struggles to trust or forgive her, because this hurt him on a level that is unmatched, that only a true villain could do. And so it was very surprising, very shocking. I guess it didn't shock my wife at all. She was like, "Oh, I knew." I'm like, "Did you?"
She clocked it.
What did you think about this scene that ripped our hearts out?
I thought you were gonna bring up a different scene. The other scene between them later in the movie. But initially, when I first saw it,
Oh,
they
I
got
know you're
me.
talking about.
They had me. They had me in the first half. I was like, "Oh my gosh, yay, she remembered!" But then, it's obviously revealed. That was very. It was kind of more like I was kind of watching. Can I curse? I was kind of like, "Oh my god, this MFer." Like, of course she got into MJ's mind, but then I'm like, "How did she do it?"
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that was that.
An MFer and an MJer. That was terrible.
No, it worked. Um, but yeah, I was just like, okay, wrap it up. Like, let's just see what happens after this one. And
I was
then
like, these are like fighting. These are fighting emotions. Like, you're hurting my boy Peter. Why
no,
are you doing
seriously,
this?
and using her against him, and then how she made him kiss her, and it like wasn't actually MJ, which I'm glad they addressed later in the movie. Like Peter apologized for it.
That was my
So,
next thing. I thought that
which
was very. I thought that was very smart
yeah,
of how Peter, like representing who Peter is. Peter and later tells MJ the truth, like, hey, while Gene was controlling or impersonating you, I kissed you. He did not knowingly consent to kissing MJ because MJ was not in control of herself, and Peter could have, brushed past it or hidden it because the situation was like complicated and embarrassing, but instead he tells MJ what happens. And I
mhm,
really love that it shows that men can have accountability and emotional maturity and respect for MJ's agency because she's not under control. I thought that was such a great way to represent like ownership when it comes to being a man. I thought that
yeah,
was really smart how they did that.
totally, totally
Hopefully
agree.
others will
Mhm.
learn about
Yeah,
consent, please.
yeah. And empathy and
Yeah,
understanding,
yeah,
but yeah,
please.
um yeah, it's really good. Let Peter Parker be the example.
You know, we had like so many different characters and like we're an hour deep. There's so much to talk about. Let's just briefly go over Detective DeWolf's relationship with Spider-Man because I really love Liza Colon Gonzalez's like Liza Gonzalez Colon. I might be messing that up. I'm sorry if I am. She's a fantastic actress. She is so good in The Bear. Um, and I thought she was a great addition to the lore of Spider-Man because she's ripped, straight from the comics. And I really enjoyed Peter's relationship with DeWolf. They already feel like friends when they're talking on the phone early in the movie, and she trusts Spider-Man and believes he is generally trying to make a difference. She almost becomes like his Commissioner Gordon, like a
Mhm.
police contact who understands that this vigilante is ultimately on their side and can help them. And there's also something almost maternal about her. After losing Aunt May, Peter is missing an adult who worries about him, who tells him he works too much, who tells him to take a break, and who's willing to protect him while still holding him accountable. And so I really loved that relationship. And I thought that it had trust and care and boundaries. And it really kind of was an example of how mature Peter has become now that we've seen him be alone for so long. Just real quick, what did you think about his relationship with Detective DeWolf?
I also loved it. I thought it was a very natural, it felt like a natural relationship, one that he built over the years that we didn't get to see. And it was
Totally.
a nice, I feel like it was a nice change of pace too, because if I'm remembering correctly, like the older Spider-Man movies with like Toby, he didn't really have like that good of a relationship with the police. So
No.
I felt like it was a good switch up, and it felt natural for me. And I think it really solidified like where we find Spider-Man in this new timeline, where
Hmm.
he is happy fighting the crime and happy helping, and he's just a volunteer. So I I thought it was really good, and I like that she also kind of served as like a new like maternal figure that he was missing in his life. And one that also was kind of like, are you sure you should take a break? Like find like a hobby, or are you still having those headaches? It was nice. I loved it, and I think I agree, she's a phenomenal actress. And I didn't finish the first season of The Bear, but from the episodes that I saw, I enjoyed her. So yeah.
Nice. That's fantastic. Yeah, I think I really enjoyed their relationship, and I love the touch points between the movie, where he goes too far with his arachnid DNA and ultimately hurts one of the cops while fighting Scorpion, or the bookends of him talking to her and then at the end talking to her and saying her kids' names, and like, this is one of my friends. Like, I don't need to keep pushing people away or acting like I don't know her kids. Like in the beginning, it's like, I know his name, Poppy, just joking with her. It's like, her names. You don't want to get too close. You don't want to get too personal because you're scared. And I love that she was like one of those representations. Okay, let's talk about our green friend, because I really, really enjoyed how they used the big green guy in this movie. And I found myself really understanding why they used Hulk in this movie. For something that's, street level, having a huge raging Hulk is a little on the non-street level side. But I felt like my take from it, especially with, you know what, let's wait till we get to the green guy. Let's talk about our Professor Banner for a second. And a lot of people are focusing on the obvious parallel between Bruce and Peter, the monster within Bruce, and Peter dealing with his arachnid DNA and overtaking his human DNA and trying to keep that monster at bay inside of himself. And I understand that reading. I totally get it. But I think Bruce represents something much more important. When we first meet Bruce Banner, he's a professor. He is surrounded by students who enjoy him, ask him about his Avengers stories, and he generally seems happy to be around his students and be at service and have this community around him. And Bruce enjoys teaching, and he built this community, and he found purpose and peace in a place where he feels appreciated. And I feel that is exactly the lesson Peter has to learn throughout this movie. You can't do everything alone. It is good to create a community where you feel loved and appreciated and happy. And it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to put yourself out there and allow yourself to be loved. And I really thought that was a special representation of Peter's story through where we first find Bruce Banner and what's going on with him. But that's not where we end up with him. And so I found it also to be very tragic, because the part that's tragic is Jean entering Bruce's mind. That piece gets taken away and he's almost back to square one, and you can see it on his face, and it is heartbreaking. And we finally see the life and the community and the trust that Bruce has finally built ultimately taken away, in feeling that loss and pain again. Ooh, that hurts.
Yeah.
What did you think? Did you see that kind of representation of Professor Banner when we first meet him? And then did you also feel that way when his community is like ripped away from him because of a mad teenager like Jean?
Yeah. I'm upset with where they put Bruce towards the end, like how it was revealed. But that just shows me that I just feel like Bruce Banner needs to have more justice in the MCU. Because I think he is a great character, but I know I was talking about this with someone else, like it's because of like some studios thing that they can't do a Hulk movie. Not really sure why, but I I didn't actually think that deeply about what Bruce represented, but now that you bring it up, it's opening up my mind. But the way I see it is Bruce was also like struggling with the monster inside him. Like he literally created that whole thing to keep it at bay.
Mhm.
And Peter wants to do that, but he can't. Like he has the capability of balancing both, but he just needs to accept that what comes with being Spider-Man. Sometimes he has to lose in Peter Parker, but also vice versa. Like to be Peter Parker, some things he can't do as Spider-Man. But with the Hulk, it's like he really can't control it. Like he wants to, but it's tough. Personally, just as a whole, I just loved Bruce being there in general. I thought it was a nice touch with him being like a professor and like finding his way, and like you said, his community, and also just trying to lead the generation. And I love that he still has that like science bro in him, where he like
Yeah.
really is like impressed by Peter's knowledge about science, and all those fancy terms. And I, for once, really liked seeing Savage Hulk on screen. I actually missed him getting, out of hand. So I thought it was so perfect. It was like the perfect use of the Hulk in the movie, just because we got to have some really cool Hulk moments, and we also got like a really good Bruce Banner moment. I'm just upset with where they ended up putting him at the end in the psych ward. So we'll have to, hopefully in a future either movie or show, they better explain what they do with Professor Banner, Dr. Banner.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so. Yeah, Cece was saying her dad felt the same about Hulk. I think she means the tragedy of where he was left. And
Mhm.
I, for one, am so happy that we got Savage Hulk back. And it wasn't just Savage Hulk with Jean being in his mind. Jean was actually not even present when he really
Yeah.
became Savage Hulk and lost all sense of control. And he was so big and so
The
huge.
clap.
And the clap
So good.
was fantastic, and the running through the hallway a la Avengers 1, running after Black Widow, which was a great callback. So they heard the people, they know what we want, and they gave us Savage Hulk. And I hope it's not the end, because that's really what makes Hulk so endearing, is this tumultuous relationship that he has with the beast within. So I hope that's not the end. But poor Bruce, he's
Poor
still got
Bruce.
some things to deal with.
Hashtag
All right.
save Bruce.
Hashtag save Bruce. And hashtag, let's talk about our favorite, I think it's safe to say, our favorite
This
side
last.
character. You know it's coming. We saved the best for last. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for me. No, where's that picture? I don't even have. Oh no.
Let me tell you something.
Give it up for our boy
Hey.
Frank is back. I loved the relationship between Punisher and Spider-Man in this movie. It almost felt like Spider-Man became the son that Frank never got to see grow up. Frank is one of the most isolated Marvel characters in history. He also tries to do everything alone, and he is consumed by guilt and grief and depression. And Peter tries to identify with him. He says, like, Frank, I'm a loner just like you. And Frank immediately rejects that and basically says, what the hell are you talking about? What do you know about me? You think this is a choice? You think I choose to be alone? That was absolutely powerful. One of the most powerful moments, because Peter's treating loneliness like a noble identity. Well, Frank is telling him that his isolation came from having his family violently taken away from him. Frank has spent years punishing himself because he could not protect the ones that he loved. Peter carries similar guilt, but that does not mean he has to follow the same path. I do not think Frank is teaching Peter to become tougher. I think he is teaching Peter not to become him. This does not have to be Peter's choice. Peter can choose the people who love him instead. And then the reversal, Peter teaches Frank the same lesson. By the end, Frank has grown attached to him in almost a father-son way. In the hospital, when Frank asks, or when Peter asks, is that what we are? Are we friends? And Peter asks, were you just crying? And he's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. That relationship is very therapeutic for Frank. And Peter reminds Frank that he can still care about people and allow people into his life and into his heart. Whew! We were waiting to see this representation of this relationship on screen, and they did not disappoint. Punisher is Cece's boy. John Bernthal is my goat. What did you think about that relationship, that dichotomy of these two very different characters, and that pushback of, I did not choose loneliness and isolation. That was put upon me, and you don't have to choose that for yourself. God, that was powerful.
It really was. I absolutely loved it, and their dynamic works so well. Such great chemistry. I was purely entertained by like every scene that they had together. I love that Frank kind of got humbled by Spider-Man in this. It was nice to see Frank kind of be like, you know what, like maybe I shouldn't do. Let me tell you something. Like, let me not tell you something. I'm not fighting the Hulk. Like it was just so. It was so good. Like so funny. It's Frank loves him. Like even when he was like talking shit to him, like he was like, yeah, like bring MJ in here. I'll watch her. Like whatever. I got chilly. Like all this stuff. It was just so good. And yeah, Frank definitely did serve as like the purest example of how bad it can be for Peter if he, chooses to be alone like that. So I love that duality, and I love the contrast between them. I think they have, like, again, Tom and John just have like the best chemistry as Spidey and Frank, and I loved, yeah, it's so good. And like even when Frank takes them at the DODC building, like with the Hulk there, it was just like that was like my favorite sequence in the entire movie. Just all those different personalities and characters just like coming to a head, like him, the Hulk, and Spidey. It was just like
iconic,
so perfect. And then of course like Jean Grey is the one who's like controlling everybody, so it's just like so cool. Like it really felt like a true without it being too much, like it felt like it really was like the Marvel universe, like all these people really exist in the same world. And like I said, it was just such a perfect dynamic. And I love, like, it's exactly like how I would imagine their dynamic being, like Spider-Man just being like this pest to Frank, but Frank obviously, like, he kind of likes the banter. It's like I feel like it almost reminded Frank, like, from like where Frank is a reminder for Peter to not be alone. Peter is a reminder to Frank that it's okay to have fun, let your guard down a little bit, like connect, like you don't have to also be alone. So I like that they both are kind of like they learn something from each other. That's how I kind of saw it. Like Frank kind of softened a little bit, which is nice.
I love that. Yeah, I think it just is a testament to John Bernthal and Tom Holland's relationship in real life, and you could see it through these iconic comic book characters and how much they embody and care about the characters that they're playing. And it was so beautiful to finally see them on screen together. Like, do I wish Daredevil was there? Hell yeah, I do.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hell, I liked it. Hell, I loved it. No, I mean, I wish I loved it more because I love Daredevil so much. And I didn't show you that take, but that did not pan out either. I'm like, they all have projects in 2026. Like, who knows? No, it did not happen. But man, I love this. Okay. We got so many people in this, and I feel like we've done such a great job of touching on all these important relationships that just reaffirm all the key moments and things that Spider-Man and Peter go through. I mean, we didn't even get to talk about big potatoes, small potatoes, like there's so many iconic things, but there's something very iconic that happened. And we've been waiting for this in the MCU for an extremely long time. And now it's finally here. That's right. Our girl, Jean Grey, one of the leaders of the X-Men, is finally in the MCU. The theories and all the stuff is put to rest, and we have our Jean Grey. We have our first real mutant story in this. All due respect to Miss Marvel. I know you didn't see the show, but at the end, they're like, your genes are mutated. And then you hear like in the background. But it's like, okay, well, this is the X-Men. Like, let's go. So we finally get Jean Grey. And I've seen a lot of talk online because it's interesting. This is not how I would have introduced Jean Grey. But for me, the more I watched this movie, the more I sat with it, the more I thought that it worked with the themes of what this movie is saying. And my opinion on Jean Grey genuinely changed the longer I thought about what the movie may be setting up. Because we're going to be seeing this character and this actress for a very long time in a lot of big X-Men stories and overall MCU stories moving forward. And Jean does a lot of things that are very difficult to defend. I know that. You know, she possesses an older man and sends him into walking traffic and he gets hit by a car. And she hurts people and makes choices that feel irredeemable. The scene where she enters MJ's mind and convinces Peter that she's MJ and that MJ remembers him is extremely malicious and terrible. And I understood why some viewers said they disliked this introduction because Jean initially feels almost evil, almost too evil to defend. And so I sat with that for a while because I was not sure if I liked the interpretation either. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized this is what mutants are. A lot of mutants are young, frightened, new to their powers that they fully don't understand yet. And it makes them dangerous. And sometimes it makes them do terrible things, terrible choices. And those incidents are part of why the world becomes afraid of mutants. The world that we know when it comes to mutants, people fear mutants. They put them in a box and they get stayed in that box, whether they should be or not. And Jean is not being introduced as a finished hero. This is not a finished product. She is being introduced at the lowest and most frightened point of her journey. And I think what we're witnessing is a redemption arc where we truly see this person go from someone extremely questionable and lost in the world to one of the greatest heroes in the X-Men that ultimately will save the world. And that, I think, is a great in for this character. There's something else that I wanted to get in, another comparison. We'll see if you do it. What did you think of this introduction of Jean Grey, iconic X-Men character? Do you think that the way that they introduced it tarnished the introduction of Jean Grey moving forward in the MCU?
I agree with you where it wouldn't have been my first choice to have her in the movie, like at all, honestly. But that doesn't mean that I'm upset that she was in the movie. I accepted it immediately when they said, oh, she has a name. And also just like speculation, like obviously she's Jean Grey. Like, duh, we know that.
Yeah.
So I think I'm actually not really upset with how they introduced her being this villain. Like, I actually don't really see her as a villain because something that I've always loved about the X-Men is I don't know what it says about me, but you know, Jean and just like also other X-Men like Magneto, I kind of understand their anger and frustration and rage with not being accepted in society. So
Yeah.
I understand, like, especially when it was revealed that, you know, what her true purpose was to find her sister. I kind of like, I'm not justifying what she did. I'm not justifying her getting into everyone's minds and like almost killing people and or killing people. But like
Yeah.
in this world, they hate mutants, from my understanding. Like they're not accepted, like you said, and like they're actively being hunted down to do
Totally.
illegal mutant human oh my gosh, experimentation um, on them. So like in Jean's defense, she really didn't have a choice. I mean, at the same time, one could
The dude
argue.
walking in traffic.
No, I know, but
Poor man.
that
His
was
legs.
her. That was her not understanding that Peter. The whole listen. This is like I need to talk about this like from the whole objective standpoint. All of this could have been avoided if we had all just communicated. Okay, like life's greatest tragedies and like just mishaps and conflicts all happen because of miscommunication, and it's like I hate when that happens because it's like if Peter had known that she was looking for her sister, and if she had known that Peter was misguided by DOTC, like I wonder what we could have avoided this mess. But it's movies and that's movie magic. You just have to accept that like this is how they write things, I guess. But I think I'm not upset with how they introduced her being like that because I don't really know how else they could have, like if she's trying to understand her powers, she's trying to understand like her purpose in society. So obviously she's not really going to know how. I mean, one could say don't kill people and don't hurt them and don't put them in bad situations, but like with the circumstances that she was facing and how aggressive the DOTC was, and like witnessing her sister get kidnapped, like I don't really think she doesn't know anyone else she can lean on, so she had to kind of act like on her own will and just do it the way she only to her extent. And what she's like supposed to be 16 in this, she's probably like feeling all kinds of emotions.
Is she?
And if I think she's supposed to be like a teenager in the movie.
Okay.
So which also like that could be like how are they gonna make all this make sense? But I'm not upset with how they introduced her. Like, do I think it could have been avoided? Yes, but that's just like technically speaking. But I think this is exactly where we find mutants in the MCU, where they're being hunted down, they're not accepted, and when they're not accepted, this is when the clash happens because now mutants are killing people. Example: Jean just killed someone, having him step into traffic, and now there's this whole, mutants are bad, but they're not bad; they're misunderstood. So I think it kind of sets us up for
crippled.
Yeah, we don't actually see him die. He just got hit. It's true. So
it's just the loss of his legs. Who cares?
We'll see. Like, well,
we'll see.
Tomato.
Tomato.
The same thing with what they say about Daredevil beating. He beats up villains up until they're about to be on the brink of death, but he doesn't kill them. He just,
I didn't kill him.
Yeah,
he just won't be able to like talk again.
Yeah, it's always that like fine line. So I kind of see that same thing with mutants, and I think it just kind of sets us up for a bigger X-Men story. And yeah, that's my long-winded view of Jean Grey. I'm excited that she's here. I've been waiting for. I feel like I've been waiting for the X-Men to finally be in the MCU. I honestly wish we would just skip the Avengers movie and just go straight to like a big grand scale X-Men movie because I feel like it's way long overdue. But
yeah, I want them to be smart about X-Men. I think there's so many characters in there that could have their own story, their own movie. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do you introduce them, and then can you spin it off? Can you have a Cyclops movie or a Wolverine? I mean, you already done a million Wolverine movies, but you know what I mean? Like the best part about X-Men is like each character is so complicated and has so much history and depth that it could be its own franchise. And that's the cool part about bringing these all together. What I was going to tell you about the comparison is something that I really found interesting because, she makes all these questionable decisions, and this is arguably her redemption, the beginning of her redemption arc. And it reminded me a lot of Wanda in Westview. Wanda's overwhelming power and emotional pain caused her to control an entire town and hurt innocent people. The difference for me is where the story appears to be going. After WandaVision, I felt like Wanda had reached some form of understanding, and then in Doctor Strange sequel turned into a full villain in a way I did not completely work for me. And so I found like there was some parallels, and there is parallels with Scarlet Witch and Jean Grey. So I really love that I kind of saw that within the storyline. You know, we talked about so many characters, and I really love that we really dove into, I guess, all the spokes that connect to who Spider-Man and Peter Parker is in this movie. And it was great. But what we got to talk about next is something that I've been waiting to talk to you about, because every time I see this in a movie, which is only 2 times that I've seen this movie, I just was like flabbergasted. I really think this is the best live action Spider-Man suit that I have ever seen in any movie. And they've stated before, you know, they had the opportunity to take from the other Spider-Mans that we've seen previously because he met them in universe in the last movie. But every time I saw this on screen, I'm looking at like the detail, the webbing. It's not as 3D as Tobey's. It's kind of in the suit a little bit more. He still gets the classic Tom Holland eyes moving. You see the ears, so it feels more lived in. It feels like he actually made this. And I just found myself every time it would come on screen, I was just in awe of how amazing this suit looked in the movie. What did you think about this suit, and how do you think it compares to the other live action iterations that you've seen? I know Tobey has a extremely special place in your heart, but did this become the #1 live action suit for you?
You know, actually, this suit has always been my favorite. Like even like in his earlier Tom Holland movies, I always knew this was gonna be like the best suit. But I mean, obviously, this brand new day suit is like #1. My favorite part is the eyes. I just
Yeah.
feel like it looks so close to the original comic, and it's just the coloring is beautiful. The thing I will say, what I like about Toby's suit is that it really, really, really looks real. Like I feel like I can touch it, you know. Sometimes with the MCU suits, it still looks a little CGI
Yeah.
animated.
You
Like
have
it's like, is he really there? Is he wearing it? Yeah.
mask.
Or is he wearing like the oh yeah, I see it, love it. Or is he wearing like the dots on the gray suit so they can like add it in
I
later? Like
hate that.
sometimes it just doesn't
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
it just
not,
doesn't look real.
you can't
Yeah.
feel
So
it, you know?
yeah, like while I love this suit, it still doesn't look like real to me. If that makes sense. Like
Interesting.
I feel like the
So
Toby
Toby's is
suit.
still your #1.
No, well, no, this suit is my #1. But
Okay.
what I like about the Toby suit just a little bit more is that it looks real. Like I can like he's wearing like when he's in the scene, I feel like he's really in like that New York scene. Sometimes with the Marvel movies, like it kind of looks like I'm watching a movie, you know.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I totally agree. I love the suits that came before. I love Andrew's TASM 2 suit. I think that's a fantastic one that obviously they pulled a lot from that, especially with the coloring of the suit. But I really think this is the ultimate suit for me. I'm just going to keep saying suit. But I think it combines beloved elements from every previous version while still feeling like its own design and still feeling like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And I know the movie even acknowledges, you know, that Peter was influenced by meeting the other Spider-Man, and I just love the craftsmanship. I really loved it, and I think it really speaks to Peter's genius, and you know, it's not Tony's AI, it's his AI. AI exists in the world, and there's no way that this genius is not going to incorporate it into his suit so that he can continue to find crime around New York. And I feel like that was another representation of just like the brains of Peter Parker. And so I just felt like it came together in such a very like organic, no pun intended way. And I really love that part of it. Yeah. Cece was saying the suit was cute, but Toby's suit is #1 for me. Okay.
Cute.
Okay, guys. I thought it was more than cute. something else that I also really loved about this movie, I was going to say show, something that I really loved was the action scenes and the swinging scenes. They felt like arguably the best swinging scenes that we have seen in any movie. And I thought before this, the TASM movies did it extremely well. But the way that Destin was able to capture the swinging in this movie, even when he's figuring out his organic webs, it felt real. It felt visceral. You could feel like the wind hitting the suit. You could feel like the G forces, and you see the eye inside the suit. And it felt like you were swinging with him, that this was actually a very dangerous thing. This isn't a simple swing in the city and everything's so fine, but you could feel the tension of the velocity of how fast he's going, swinging through the city. And it felt very lived in and very realistic to me, more than any movie in the Spider-Man world has done before, in my opinion. How did you feel about the swinging and the action in general in this movie?
Yeah, I thought the action was incredible. I did enjoy the swinging. The only thing, I'm sorry, like I don't know why I'm sounding so negative because I really did love the movie, like, and I loved everything. Like this was like as close to the ground.
Sam hated it, guys. Sam
No, I
hated
loved it. I just my gripe is that what took me out of the swinging is like I know they didn't film it in New York, like they filmed it in Glasgow. And
Yeah.
even with the buildings that they had, like I could tell like it was so not like New York architecture, and couldn't even really pass as like Brooklyn architecture, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
what took me out of it was that it was not New York. So like I knew that they had the CGI New York and everything, but I don't know. I didn't want it to take away from the swinging. It was good. Like I love the action, but with the swinging, the difference with I'm bringing them up again, the Sam Raimi movies, it just feels so real. Like because they filmed in New York. So and being so close to the city, it's like I can tell easily. So it takes that for me.
Yeah. No, and you could see the influences from the video games, and Tom has talked about that and how they really tried to implement that. And so I did want to show you this. I brought this out. So this is from 2002. This is an Empire magazine introducing Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man to the world with the premiere of the movie. If you look closely, the Two Towers are coming out. Reign of Fire with Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey, and Triple X with Vin Diesel. This is a blast from the past from 2002, and I thought this would be so cool to just have and read through, and it's in mint condition.
That is a relic, and it's beautiful.
Isn't that cool?
I love it.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that. All right, we're running out of time because there's so much more to talk about, and we got to get to our draft because we're going to talk a lot about the other Spider-Man movies as we do the draft. Before we do, though, I saw some slander online. A little bit of slander. I'm going to keep saying slander. And I got to defend my boy of any more slander. And what I saw was that our boy John Watts, who directed the first 3 Spider-Man, is getting some disrespect. Yeah. This is how you direct a Spider-Man movie. This looks way better than the last 3. This is so much better than whoever directed the last 3. Just a lot of disrespect for my boy John Watts. And so I got to set everyone straight because I feel like John Watts is getting a lot of unnecessary criticism now that people are praising the practical sets, even though it's not New York, the action, and the CGI in Brand New Day. And I do not think those technical issues are necessarily John Watts' fault. More importantly, this movie would not be as emotionally effective without the 3 films that he directed first. Homecoming established this version of Peter Parker and placed him inside the MCU and really solidified who Peter Parker is in high school. Far From Home expanded his world and forced him to wrestle with Tony Stark's legacy and expectations. In No Way Home completely broke excuse me, his life apart and created the emotional starting point for Brand New Day. The journey from Homecoming to Far From Home to No Way Home is a really strong journey. And we would not have Peter Parker where he is in this movie without John Watts. Brand New Day deserves all the praise it's getting, but it also the payoff to an emotional foundation that the Home trilogy spent years building. John Watts in those movies deserve more respect. Am I off base, Sam?
No, 100%. I agree. No, you literally hit the nail on the head. And especially after just watching No Way Home, I personally think No Way Home is like initiation slash hazing for Tom's Peter. You know, like up until that point, he had not experienced like a guttural loss. You know, like sure, he lost Tony, but like losing Aunt May compared to Tony obviously like hits him so completely differently.
Yeah.
And now he has joined the ranks of like Toby and Andrew's Spider-Man because they both lost people that were really close to them, which kind of was like a turning point for them to like really understand what it means to be Spider-Man. Like you have enemies, and you know people close to him will get hurt or they can die. So we would not. I actually wrote it in my. I put it in a way where this Peter that we know in Brand New Day is because of what he became out of No Way Home. Like the No Way Home Peter like prepared us for this new version of him in Brand New Day. So yeah, I don't know why John Watts is getting so much flack. Like it's crazy because those movies are not bad at all. Like they're so good. And for some reason I see Far From Home getting the most hate, and I love that movie. I think Gyllenhaal is such a good Mysterio, and that movie has such good scenes. So I don't know why he's getting so much hate. Like we wouldn't have Brand New Day if not for all three of the Homecoming, like the trilogy of Homecoming ones.
I'm so glad you said that because I love Far From Home. I think it's important. One, I think it's important that New York is represented in a Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man is a New Yorker. You cannot have Spider-Man and not have New York as its own character that's connected to him in a deep way. But we've seen it a lot of times. And to take Spider-Man out of New York across the world to see how he fits in other places in the world that's not New York is important for the overall arc of Peter Parker and of Spider-Man and of Night Monkey. You need Night Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't understand the hate either. It makes me very sad because I think Jake Gyllenhaal was a great Mysterio, you know, like that wasn't so hard, was it? You know, like I love that kind of
He's so
stuff.
good.
Like, he's just like eating up the scenery. And this is Jake Gyllenhaal, who almost was Spider-Man when Toby hurt his back in Spider-Man 2. They were going to cast him to take over and then to bring him back as a villain. So you bring the dude who was going to be Spider-Man in the 2000s as a villain in the 2020s-ish. You take the dude that was Batman and you make him the Spider-Man villain and live on its own as Vulture. John Watts, you're doing the God's work, and we love you. And we appreciate you. If anything else, Evan and Sam love you, John.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got Michael Keaton. Like, come on.
You got Michael Keaton, you know? All right. Before we dive into our draft of all the Spider-Man movies, and we'll get to talk a little bit more about the other Spider-Man movies that came before, there was two things that I want to talk about, okay? One is a thirst trap. God damn. Tom Holland put in the work to look like Spider-Man. Oh my God.
He got
Like,
ripped.
we always thought like, okay, this guy's ripped, you know, and No Way Home and all this stuff. This guy's jacked in this. And this scene with Yelena was absolutely hilarious. Just want to get your quick thoughts. What did you think about this jacked MFer? And full circle. And having a little small potato, big potato scene with Yelena.
I mean, you said it. Like, he got ripped and jacked for Brenda Day. And you know what? You know what I just realized now? Like, I don't actually think we ever gotten a shirtless Spider-Man in Homecoming
Oh.
or Far From Home. I can't remember.
No,
I
we
feel like
did.
we
We did.
We did.
Remember in Homecoming, when he puts on the suit and it shrinks to his body in the alleyway? Why am I memorizing Tom Holland's shirtless scenes?
It's been a long time since I saw Homecoming. I should watch it again. But yeah, you know, I mean, I was like, okay, Tom, like, there you go.
I see.
It was,
I see you.
It was, yeah, I see you. And yeah, so and I thought it was funny with him walking out with the mask too. It was good. It was
Great
definitely
comedy.
like for the female gaze, I guess you could say.
For
So
such a serious movie, it had such great comedy in it, right? Like, it
Yeah.
felt funny. And people always give crap towards MCU movies for being too funny or too much humor or too goofy. And I really felt like Brand New Day was the perfect balance that the MCU, when they strike, becomes an iconic film.
yeah.
Sorry, I just had to show this meme. Wait, why is this so tight? Let me get this bigger. Small potato. This was so good. And it's like, why are you teasing us, dude? Like, Florence Pugh is so beautiful. Don't show us her in a hot tub, dude. This is not this is NSFW. It's not safe for work, you know? Like, this is what a great actress. And to have this movie just feel so lived in, like, this is the MCU. You're gonna see every time there's a huge thing happening, we're like, where's the other people? What's going on? And so to open it up in this funny way, but also like the Avengers exist here, like this, everything exists. This is part of the bigger aspect of the MCU. What a great job. All right. We've talked so much about this movie. I absolutely loved it. But we need to talk about all the Spider-Man movies because this is a legacy that started with our boy Toby and has continued through our boy Tom. And along the way has had a little Miles in there, which we all love as well, which Sam has to see the second one. Not calling her out, but you got to see that girl. And you got to text me when you see it because I'm dying to know what you think. But I hope that doesn't give me a leg up on the on the draft. You can steal it from me, but I hope that you don't. But we got to do our draft, okay? And before we do our draft, what is a draft, right, guys? What is a draft? So, I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pick our Spider-Man. Once one's picked, you cannot choose that for your team. These are the Spider-Man movies. These are not the individual Spider-Men, which everyone feels some kind of way. These are the movies. And so we are going to go one by one. I'm going to go ladies first and allow my girl Sam to choose the first Spider-Man movie. And without further ado, this is our Spider-Man draft day.
I'm going to put some dirt in your eye.
I thought you'd like that.
Oh my God. That's so good.
I had some surprises for you.
That's good.
Should we watch it one more time?
Yeah, put it up. It's so good.
I'll put it up.
Bully
Put some dirt in your eye.
So good. I just can't. I love Toby.
Okay. Don't put too much dirt in my eye with this first pick for the number one draft. Sam has. Dun, 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 dun. What do you got?
Spider-Man 2.
God.
2002. Was it
Are you
2004?
rhyming?
2004.
Yes, no. 2004.
2004, yeah.
All right. She got the goat. That is fine. We will give it to her. She is a guest on my show. We gotta be nice. And oh man, that's such a good one. Okay. You're not even gonna
Evan.
okay. I gotta go with
Oh,
I'm sorry. I have to go with it.
well, now I really got to watch it. It's your
Across
first
the
pick.
Spider-Verse.
First round
Well,
pick.
you took my you took
Oh.
you know the team that drafts first, gets the number one pick, gets the number one movie. And without a doubt, Spider-Man 2 to me is the quintessential GOAT Spider-Man movie. Let me ask you, why Spider-Man 2?
It is the perfect superhero movie. It has a perfect, solid story. It shows the villain, very villain before he becomes the villain, and then, has his villain arc, and then he comes back to being kind of like the hero, like he sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
Has just also like the struggle with Peter, with him, Spider-Man No More,
Yeah.
the struggle. It just touches on like everything you could ever want in a superhero movie. Like hero struggle, villain arc, a little bit of romance drama, great action sequences. Like literally I can think of like three off the top of my head. Obviously with him on the train, and then when he catches MJ when the car comes through the cafe, and
Can I
then
say one?
yeah.
That scene where Doc Ock is on the operating table and he's still unconscious, but the AI in his arms are not, and they start wrecking fools in the operating room is absolutely iconic, a little bit frightening. We get some nails on the ground, some iconic Sam Raimi isms,
Yes.
but it works so well in the movie. It's one of my favorite scenes of the arm, and you see the view of the arm.
So good.
Okay. Did you have another one that you had a third? I'm sorry to interrupt you. You had a third.
He was the whole when he's saving Aunt May on the building when he's like going through the crashing, cement. Which is like another thing about Brand New Day. They paid so much, like they gave so many nods to the prior Spider-Man movies that like I immediately
So
picked up on the
many.
first, and I was like, oh my god, they're referencing this and this and this. It's just so good. So yeah, Spider-Man 2 is just like the perfect Spider-Man movie. It's so good.
Okay.
Moving
Across
on.
the Spider-Verse. Moving on. It's hard to move on from Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Across the Spider-Verse is goated. Thank you, Cece. This movie is an exact representation of who Spider-Man is and proves that anyone can wear the mask. Spider-Man transcends Peter Parker's story. And I feel like the second movie in this Spider-Verse trilogy really sets the bar so high because it shows that no matter the story that we've known before and the canon events that need to happen in order for this person to become Spider-Man, that there is someone that can fight their fate, that can show to the universe, I'm trying not to spoil this for you, that can show to the universe that when everyone is telling you who you are or who you need to be because you're Spider-Man, that sometimes you have to choose your own path. Nah, I'm going to do my own thing. You'll see what that means in the when you watch it. I want you to watch
really,
this so bad.
Yeah, you're selling it for me. It's always on my list. I just haven't got to it. So hold me accountable. I will watch it.
I'm really trying not to spoil this for you, but I'm letting you know that the opening scene of Across the Spider-Verse is the best opening to any Spider-Man movie in history. And it doesn't even have to do with our boy Miles Morales or Peter Parker. And it's still the greatest opening of all time. I'm really trying not to spoil this for you, but I will say, without spoiling it, that it gives us an insight into the world of Gwen Stacy and Spider-Gwen. And it does it in a way that feels exactly like Spider-Man. And Spider-Man comes down to the choices that they make, and that makes them who they are and what kind of spider person they will be in this world. Damn, I did a good job without spoiling that because it's so hard. I want to tell you so badly.
Well, fun fact, I've actually always been a Gwen Stacy girl over an MJ girl. So I love Gwen Stacy. So
Oh my God, I want you to see this so bad. And
I'm gonna watch
Cece
it
is
this
just
weekend.
like, yeah, I need it. I need to hear. Look at what Cece said. I don't know if I've ever been that hype on an intro.
I'm like really intrigued.
I really want to tell you, but I can't. But all I can tell you is the animation is what does it for me in that intro as well.
Yeah.
Because the emotions that are felt through the characters in the introduction of Gwen Stacy's world are inhabited in the scenes that you're seeing. In the colors and what you're seeing is affected by the emotions in that scene. It's one of the most brilliant ways you can use animation in maybe any movie. And this is a guy that loves Inside Out too. Like that's my goat, like Pixar movie, but it does it in a way that's just absolutely incredible. All right, we got so many movies.
Inside Out made me
I hope this convinced you to should we stop? No, okay. With the pick 3, Sam, what do you got for us, girl?
I'm gonna go Into the Spider-Verse because I did see that one and I loved it. Fair is fair.
So good. Fair is fair.
It is good. I remember when I watched it, it felt like I was I don't know if you've ever seen Yellow Submarine, the Beatles movie, the animated.
Yeah.
Like it was like
iconic.
Well, yeah, it's like, so I'm a big Beatles girl, but it reminded me of that just because of like the colors and like the world and just like, just visually just so beautiful. So I really loved Into the Spider-Verse and like just seeing all the different Spider-Man and Gwenpool. I mean, not Gwenpool, Spider-Gwen.
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous, and I love your pick. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Ooh, I'm getting news. Oh, Michael Mando wants to return as Scorpion. Ex-actor wants to be in another Marvel movie.
I wonder after the movie just hit like 2 billion worldwide or beat Endgame, of course. Why would he not want to come back? I'm just kidding.
Okay. Then I got to do it. I'm going to get you back.
Ooh.
You know what I'm going to do.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. All right.
Listen. You know what? He doesn't need all this extra. It's Spider-Man. Because this is the introduction of the live action Spider-Man. It is the reason for a lot of people that Tobey Maguire is their GOAT Spider-Man because of the nostalgia, because this was the first representation on the big screen of what Spider-Man is and what he can be. And when you see this movie, it feels like you're flipping through the pages of a Spider-Man comic book. And it really opened up people's eyes and creators' eyes to what comic book movies can really be. They can be poppy, they can be dark, they can be funny, and they can be iconic. In this introduction, after X-Men 2000, we can do without the leather black suits, was the real introduction to what Marvel movies and superhero movies can be. And without this first movie, we would not have the MCU today.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
Well said. Spider-Man is the blueprint. And you got Goblin in that movie, which I'm jealous of.
Yeah. Or you can destroy it. And it's like whatever, on the rooftop.
Yeah.
Or we could build, it's like I love that.
Back to formula.
Yeah. Back to formula. It's just like so
So
iconic.
good.
And then you get okay. Oh my god. Okay.
It's so good.
I don't want to spoil anything else. What is your fifth pick? I'm like, what number are we on? Fifth pick.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
No!
You know I was going there. When you didn't, I thought you were gonna use it for your pick. So I was actually relieved that you chose Spider-Man.
My God. I knew I was gonna. Why did I let you go first? Yep. 100%. Me and my wife, we have to watch this movie every year because this movie is so good. It's honestly underrated in a lot of ways because people just say, well, it's nostalgia baiting. It's putting everything everyone loves about Spider-Man in one movie. Do you know how hard that is to have all this nostalgia and all this baggage, put Toby, Andrew, and Tom in one movie, still have it be Tom's story, and have everything come together and work together in such a beautiful way? That stuff is not easy.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sam. I'm just like,
they did their big one.
I'm repping your pick like it's mine.
I mean, no, you said it. I mean, like I said, this movie was his initiation. It doesn't overshadow his story at all. I think it enhances it. And it was awesome to see all those villains interact with each other, especially Octavius and Osborn. Like, it was just, they saw each other as scientists first before they saw each other as common enemies of Spider-Man. And I just love that because before
I'm
they
something
became
of a scientist myself.
yeah. So I love that they had that respect for each other and talked about who they were before they came to their downfall as their villains. So good.
That. All right, well, I'm gonna have to. You already won, in my opinion, so this sucks. But I'm gonna have to do it to you.
Let's hear it. No. What is it? Oh. Okay. All right, you took the new one.
I had to take the new one because this movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day, has reaffirmed to the general audience that this is the GOAT superhero of all time. You can say Batman, you can say Superman, you can say Iron Man after almost 20 years of a GOATed performance. But at the end of the day, Brand New Day reminded people that Spider-Man is the best superhero that has ever been created. And it's crazy that a movie needed to do that. But when you're talking about a movie that made $1 billion in 6 days, that beat Endgame, where the Russo brothers had to admit that they have to give up the crown back to Spider-Man, this movie has done wonders for what the character is and what it has become to be known as. And that is the GOATed superhero of all time.
Yep. And what he represents too. Yeah. It's totally like a love letter to Stanley and Steve Ditko and also New York.
It's a love letter to New York.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't filmed there.
Even though it wasn't filmed there, except for the B-roll for 30 seconds at the end. But
great B-roll, by the way. Great. Those the credit scenes. Great job finally getting some shots of real New York. But, growing up so close to New York, what does Spider-Man mean to New Yorkers?
So I can't speak for New Yorkers as a firm, Jersey girl, but as someone who loves New York and like has spent a lot of time in New York and also just like grown up like going all the time. I
There's
think
a
he's
huge connection. There's a huge
yeah,
Jersey New
yeah,
York connection.
yeah, definitely. Even though New York like hates us, even though I love New York, like whatever, it's okay. It's one-sided love affair. But I think what Spider-Man represents is, I said this the other day, like he like you said before, even with like Across the Spider-Verse, like that sentiment, like he can be anybody. We're all we all feel, he represents like, you know, the common man. I feel like he's alone, he
Totally.
struggles, but he also always is trying to do the right thing, even if it's at the price of like what he wants versus what he needs to do. And I think that just resonates with New York in a way where New York is a melting pot. It's filled with so many different people, and we all have our everyone has their own individual stories going on. And I think at the end of the day, like the common thing is New York is like a huge community, and Spider-Man just like represents that, like the unifying idea of, you know, you're
I
not
love that.
alone even though you feel alone. You know, I don't know, it's my take on it. And like
No,
New York
I
is
love
New York. Like it's a big, honestly, I feel like this is a big year for New York with the Knicks winning, and you know, the city
Spider-Man.
just Spider-Man. So it's just, you know, it's just a vibe, it's a feeling. It's
Have you ever
Spider-Man is
gone to the Macy's Day Parade?
no, just as far as my living room.
It's in New York, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm like such a West Coast idiot.
I don't
But
do
like,
like stuff like that in the city. Like
yeah, like the
I
tourist.
don't do like not the ball dropping. Uh no, I don't.
Do you like
The only,
crowds? Are you a big crowd
yeah,
person?
I can
You go
handle
to
crowds.
conventions and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like there can be pretty big crowds. I just remember just the Spider-Man
Yeah.
float, like since like the early 90s, and just like
Oh yeah.
how much that characters can, like how much they own that character. I think it's really beautiful. Like I'm from the Bay, like I'm from San Francisco, Oakland, like we do things a little bit different. You know, Ryan Coogler made Black Panther Oakland, which I love, which is not really the case in the comics, but I love him for it. But it's just it's a different vibe. You know, we're a little bit like, you know, New York is gritty, but the Bay is gritty in a different way, like in a weird
Mhm.
way, in a
Yeah.
hyphy way. For some
Ooh.
baseline for you. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What you got? I'm like, you're
Ooh.
gonna win now. I'm like so sad.
This
What you
is just
got?
a personal favorite, guilty pleasure, Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3? I was
Yeah.
not seeing that. I honestly thought you were gonna like take it home, you know. Spider-Man
No,
3.
I'm taking it. It has its good moments. Yes, we got that. And
We got that.
we got that. And like, I don't know. I don't know. I like it. It's camp to me. I love Spider-Man 3. I like the Sandman in that movie. He's a good villain. Very like lots of humility to him. And I just love the whole thing. Like Bully Maguire, it's so good. It's
Cece's
just
going to bed. She said, my
oh,
granny
good night,
jeans are kicking
Cece.
in. About to go night. Great stream. Can't wait to watch
Yeah.
Brand New Day again. Also, just peep the Spider-Man crew neck. She saw your crew neck.
Yes.
Thank you, C. Thanks for tuning
Good
in.
night.
She introduced Box Lunch to me. I didn't know how epic Box Lunch is, but
They have some great stuff.
I'm going to be going to GalaxyCon in San Jose.
Oh,
But
I
got.
Oh, that's fresh. That is fresh. That's
Right?
nice. Yeah.
It's clean.
GalaxyCon is a great convention. Love GalaxyCon.
It's my first GalaxyCon, so I'm really, really excited. But I love the people I meet at these. I'm a baby. I'm a baby con goer, but I just love the people that I meet at these things. And yeah, just
It's
I don't know
awesome.
why. I don't know why I didn't get into it when I was younger. I wish I did, but it happened at the right time.
Yeah, everything always happens at the right time. GalaxyCon is a good one too. It's very organized. The one I went to was in Raleigh, North Carolina. It was
okay.
good time.
That's really dope. That's
Yeah.
awesome. All right. With the 8th pick, your boy presents hints.
I can guess.
You already know. Is it?
Oh, I didn't think you were gonna go there.
Am I missing one? I messed up because I already chose.
Nice.
Did I mess up? Did I forget one? Uh-oh.
No. No, I don't think so.
Okay. I really love Andrew as Spider-Man, and I really think No Way Home reinforced why Andrew Garfield is such a great and endearing Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Of course, this is the 2010 skater, cool. I don't have any hair anymore, but cool Spider-Man, and that's cool. And you know, it was a different take, but it worked for the time that it came out in, and it worked because Andrew Garfield is such a great actor, and he loves Spider-Man. Did you ever see his Comic-Con Spider-Man speech?
Vaguely. Remind me what it was.
Well, we got it queued up right now. We don't have it.
You got me. I was like, I'm ready.
I don't want the episode to get taken down. I don't trust that. I was scared for even our little
Put some dirt in your eye.
Never gets old. Like, oh my god.
Never gets old.
So
what did you think when you were younger, right? You were probably in middle
school,
right? What did you think? I'm like just aging you and telling all your information. Sorry. What did you think when the Amazing Spider-Man came out, especially after that connection of your dad introducing you to like Toby into that universe? What did you think about this new guy coming around? Did you adapt to it? Did you like it?
I think I adapted to it. I think I didn't love actually the aspect of him being like a skater boy. I remember that being kind of like my only gripe, I guess. But I liked Andrew Garfield and I love Emma Stone. And when they were gonna be doing
so good,
having her as Gwen, I was like, oh my gosh, she's my role model. Like I love her. Like so I liked the first movie. I actually really don't think the first movie is bad, especially because we get like Dr. Connors as the villain. So it was something different. It actually did feel like a pretty, in its own right, like a very grounded movie, and very like New York centric. They lost me with the second one, but I think Andrew deserves, more credit and more justice for his portrayal, because I don't think it was his fault for why those movies didn't do as well. I can only imagine what an Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie with like brand new day writers and directors would have been like. You know what I mean? So
I realized I messed up with the draft. I realized what you were saying now. I'm not going to say it.
You think you know what my next pick is?
I know. Yes, I do. Can I say your next pick?
Yeah.
Can I read your mind, Sam?
Yeah, take a guess.
This is how well I know you after talking to you live for 2 hours. Sam's next pick is Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yep, you got it. How'd you know? That was exactly it.
Dang, dude. I know my girl so well already. This is perfect. Yep. Okay. Damn.
You learn a lot about someone by their favorite Spider-Man movies.
By your connected love for Spider-Man. Oh my goodness. You got No Way Home and
Homecoming. Michael Keaton.
And our boy Michael Keaton. I mean, I'm gonna just steal yours, but just say the introduction of Vulture was so good because there was still some mystery to it, right? Because there's this connection of Spider-Man taking out his prom date, and right when the door opens up, who answers the door? It's his main villain that he's fighting in the movie, and it happens to be Liz's father. Don't ever count out biracial families, because that's right. Vulture is Liz's dad. Boom!
Mind-blowing.
What a great twist in the movie. Tell me a little bit about your love and my jealousy of you picking Spider-Man Homecoming. And by the way, I'm having so much fun with this draft. This is sick.
It's fun. We should do this we should do a movie draft for like every topic, like
Okay.
Avengers.
Should we do? What should we do? Are you Harry Potter? Are you a Harry Potter fan?
No, I've actually never seen Harry Potter. I'm a Percy Jackson girl, but there's nothing to do.
There's
with those
not a
movies,
lot.
So no.
I love the show. Love the show. Homecoming.
Homecoming. Okay.
Well, yeah, we'll think about our draft after. Yeah, I gotta think. Like, because there's like not a long series. Batman. We could do Batman movies.
You could do Batman. Yeah. Well, speaking of Batman, so I love Homecoming because the time that it came out, it was like I said before, it came out like the year of my senior year of high school, so it felt very timely, and I felt like I could really relate to the actors who were playing. Like I love Zendaya, and I accepted Tom as Spider-Man like immediately when he was introduced in Civil War. But that movie's just so funny.
Previously, like, were you
Shake it up?
Okay, because I'm older.
She's like my generation.
Yeah, I think I'm like 10, probably 10 years older than you. Oh my God, I'm so old. No, when you found out in Homecoming at the end, when she's like, my friends call me MJ, how did that make you feel when you found that out?
I was like, well, I kind of had a feel like I feel like back then when I was like really in my huge Marvel, I was like living.
Sam's so smart, Marvel. You guys. Sam's Marvel smart. She's so good.
I remember like that was when I was keeping up with like the rumors and all this and like the trailers. And fun fact, I actually applied to be an extra in Homecoming. I found they had like the casting thing open and I applied for it. I was in New Jersey. They were filming in Georgia. I knew there was no way I was going to be able to get to Georgia, but they did select me. I just didn't get to actually go physically down there. But
dang, why didn't you go?
I was literally like 16 going on 17. My mom was going to take me to Georgia. I mean, maybe if I asked her, but like, it was like,
damn, they even brought Cindy Moon back from from Homecoming. She was the girl that asked the question about the Avengers, about Thanos. Why didn't he just snap and make more food? They brought her back. That could have been you.
That could have been me. But I remember loving Homecoming and just being like, I felt like that was a perfect Spider-Man movie, honestly, in my opinion. And I think also knowing that my dad is he loves Michael Keaton as Batman, so like he got really excited when Michael Keaton was cast as Vulture. So yeah, it was
like
just
that, Cal.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, totally. So
well, tell my wife she doesn't like it. It's too big, she says.
Sounds like exactly what my mom says to my dad about like more than half the things he has. But it just, I feel like the movie is just very meaningful to me. So I feel like Homecoming will always have a special place in my heart. Especially the name, it's very clever. Spider-Man Homecoming's back at Marvel. It's kind of joint custody between Marvel and Sony.
I totally agree. I think Spider-Man Homecoming, it's so endearing because this is exactly what we've been waiting for, right? Like Toby, 27 years old when he's in high school. Andrew, around the same age. This is the first time that we have a true representation of who Spider-Man is, and he's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And this Homecoming, beginning of Spider-Man's real journey after Civil War, which is iconic, was the first time that we actually got to see an actor that's close to the age that he's playing, right? I mean, he was like 18, 19 when he was playing a 15, 16-year-old. So to finally get someone that really is a boy in his journey as an actor and a boy as his journey as Spider-Man, I felt like that was truly special. And that's also why I'm super jealous of you. Why didn't I think of Homecoming instead of Andrews? But time has passed. I don't
What
even
was
know
it?
what to choose. I'm so bad. All right, guys. With the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th pick in the Spider-Man movie draft, Evan has to go. Has to go. These are
Let me
tough
guess.
ones.
Let me guess.
All right, you go ahead.
Far From Home.
I feel like me and Sam did we just become best are we getting the the stepbrothers?
Totally.
Yeah, this is gonna rub people the wrong way because for some reason, and me and Sam talked about in this episode, people hate Far From Home,
But it's good.
but
It's
it's
good.
good.
It's not a bad movie at all.
Oh my god, I almost did
And
Far
it
From
like
Home.
actually and it has some of the best
That's a
scenes
different
too.
kind of
Like
Spider-Man movie.
when like he's getting in Peter's mind and he has like all those like, duplicates of him. I love that scene. It was very like Doctor Strange, like he's so
You know what it
good.
reminded me of? And you know where they got the influence from?
Where?
So for those of you that are watching that don't know, and I love that people are in the chat. If you're in the chat, comment and let us know about these movies. Because I know all these movies that we just mentioned hit everyone differently. And that's the best part about movies and Spider-Man in general is that everyone has a special connection to at least one of these movies, if not multiple, and it all hits us differently. The scene that Samantha's talking about in Far From Home, where we finally get to see, you guys, we're talking about Mysterio messing with Spider-Man's mind. How iconic is that from the comics? When he's in his mind and there's all these Mysterios and he's in the snowball of New York and then it breaks and then he's like going through all this different imagery. It was told by the creators that they were influenced by Into the Spider-Verse, that they actually worked with a lot of the Into the Spider-Verse designers and artists to try to replicate in their own way, in their own version, this animation of Spider-Man within Far From Home. So if you don't love that, I don't know what will get you guys, because I thought that was awesome. Also,
That's
like
awesome.
in the Netherlands, like with the flowers, like in the different colors and the crops, and like the Quinjet, or not the Quinjet, it's not a Quinjet, right? I don't know. It lands in there, Happy's in there, and he sees, this is fresh off of Tony Stark's death, right? And he's talking to Happy, and Happy is patching him up, just like he did with Tony, suturing his wounds, getting in there, and it hurts him. And he's like, I messed up. Like, and it's like pure Spider-Man. You did the wrong thing. You effed up. What do you do next? Right. And he says to him, Tony didn't even live up to Tony. He second guessed himself at every turn, getting chills again. And that was so beautiful of the connection of why he's Tony Stark, Iron Man Jr., but it was for a reason. And it made sense, and it made more sense in this scene more than anything. Because at the end of the day, Spider-Man wants to be the hero that people look up to. And in this universe, the people that they look up to is Tony Stark. And can Spider-Man be the next Tony Stark? No, because Tony Stark couldn't even be the next Tony Stark. And ultimately, that was the end of him. And this part is so beautiful and represents who Spider-Man is, because he wants to be the best hero. Even when he messes up, he wants to find a way forward. And Happy telling him that not even Tony could fill his own shoes was such a beautiful way to pass that on, to pass that message on. And then he sees him, okay, let's move forward. Let's design a new suit. Let's get back in the game. And he puts his hand into the CGI effing thing, making the new suit. And he looks back at him doing his thing, and Happy looks at him and he says, okay, the universe is in good hands. This is maybe not the next Tony Stark, but it's reminiscent of it in some ways. And to me, that isn't bad.
Mhm.
I really love that scene, Sam.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Rest my case.
All right. This leaves me with one last choice, and it's not even my favorite. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I know.
I'll
I
just
know.
do
We
it.
gotta have a weak link on there. Nobody's perfect.
Tell me about your love for TASM 2.
My love. My love. So, okay, I don't hate it. Like, it does have good moments, especially between Peter and Gwen. Like, I feel like these movies really are focused on their relationship. Like, that's
You know that song? And it's like, I love that part. I don't know why.
I can't. It's been so long since I've watched it, but like,
But
all
do
I
you know what I'm
remember
talking
from
about?
the
They use that song for like everything now. It's like, for you.
oh my god,
And it's
like
like a
that,
very like,
like that. What's that band? What is it?
what is it?
Yeah.
Tell me.
Oh
It's
my
not like
gosh.
Simple Plan or something like that. It's not that old. But it's like the
Like
Strumbellas, you know, or something. I don't know.
Like Ophelia, like whatever band that sings that
Yeah.
song. I
Oh,
can't
the
remember.
Lumineers.
The Lumini. Oh my gosh, or like Fun.
Pretty
Anyway,
much. We're going
that's
down
such yeah, that is
we're
like
going down the rabbit hole, the early 2010s.
so. Like I said, like I think those movies. I think what shines in those movies are Andrew and Emma. Like their Gwen and Peter are just so perfect, very romantic. Um, I don't love The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Obviously, it's also like the iconic and tragic end of Gwen, which is like so heartbreaking, but you know, it's true to the comics, so that's why I appreciate it. I just wish, like, uh, I don't think Jamie Foxx was like a great Electro. Like, I think he could have been better, and I didn't like his design at all. Like the all
He was
blue,
better in No Way
he was
Home.
way better in No Way Home, and he even
Way
looked better
better.
too. Like they gave him the whole, you know, the classic star. You know, like why couldn't they have done that in this in the other movie? Like they just made
Wait,
him
let's do the
blue.
star again. That was kind of funny. Do it with me.
The you know, and it looked awesome. Like it looked really good. So that's another thing why I love No Way Home. They like really made up. They redeemed themselves in like a lot of aspects. So that was one of them. But yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
the
No,
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I agree with you. I'm just in such a Spider-Man mood that I rewatched it and it's very bad, but at the core, it is a love story. And because Andrew and Emma are such good actors, their relationship is what holds the movie together. And so, if anything else, that's the best. Also, the physical movements of Andrew as Spider-Man, you know, when you can't see his mouth, but
Yeah.
at the end, Gwen is there and he's like, oh, like
Mhm.
freaking out, like, you got to get out of here. Like, I've seen a lot of people comment on it, and the movements of him as Spider-Man are fantastic. On
Yeah.
top of that, they do give us the iconic comic scene where Gwen dies, and that was very cool to see in a live action version, even if it wasn't the best leading up to it, or the best Green Goblin or Hobgoblin or whatever you want to call him at this point. But yeah, but that scene was heartbreaking where she's falling and he gets her and the web reaches out like it's a hand and gets her, but it's too late. Other than that, not my favorite Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. So that's the last pick.
All right, guys, that's the last pick. You got 6, I got 5. 11 live action or 11 Spider-Man movies. What are we picking for the better team of Spider-Man movies? Let's go down it, okay? Sam has Spider-Man 2, Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man Homecoming, and the TASM 2. Evan has Across the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man, Spider-Man Brand New Day, The Amazing Spider-Man 1, and Spider-Man Far From Home. I know a lot of people, because I have that one last one on my list, they are going to axe me immediately. So F them. But at the end of the day, let's take a look at all Spider-Man movies. Let's take a look at it. I know if this is audio for some people, they're going to be like, what are they doing?
What are we looking at?
But you got Spider-Man 3 and TASM 2.
Okay, but like
Those are-
to be fair, Spider-Man 3 is like a great movie. It's so good. I don't care what anyone
In the
says.
scheme of things, though, the weaker links for you is Spider-Man 3 and TASM 2. The weaker links for me is really only Far From Home. Is there anyone watching that wants to chime in on the chat and let us know? Because this is kind of hard. Like, if you're going by weaker links, I know you love Spider-Man 3. Overall, not the best. Could have been better. If it was better, the Spider-Man Raimi trilogy would be known as the best Spider-Man trilogy of all time.
Yeah.
I guess
You
in
did
your
really
eyes,
good.
it might be.
It might be. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But like Across the Spider-Verse, like really showed people that Spider-Man doesn't have to be Peter Parker. Spider-Man 1 showed people that comic book movies can be amazing. No pun intended. Brand New Day reminded people that Spider-Man is the goated superhero of all time. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 gave us a skater boy, and we said, see you later, boy. And then we got Far From Home.
Far From Home is good too. Like, oh,
Sam, what are you going with? Are you going with your team? If you look,
yeah, I'm loyal to my team. I have Spider-Man 2. Like, hello, and No Way Home. Those two alone.
Oh crap, mine was Across. I mixed that up. Mine was Across. I said Into. That was bad. I actually gave you some credit because Into showed us. I was speaking for you. But you didn't know I was speaking about my Across though.
I thought you were speaking about Across because
I know. Oh, you did. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I thought I said Into. Okay. At the end of the day, guys, Samantha wins.
I win. Even when I lose, I win.
And that, my friends, was...
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
This is gonna be like my vocal stim the rest of the week. At work, I'm gonna be like...
What a great draft. That I was so
that was
happy.
Good.
Our first drafts together.
Yeah, first of many.
That was really cool. We were supposed to flip a coin or rock, paper, scissors it, but I had to give it to my guest, you know, first timer on the Evan edition. But that was great. Damn, I even in my script, and like, because I scripted out like our whole structure, I even had a description for the draft that I just glossed over and made myself look like an idiot. Okay, guys, we've been here for so long. Sam's got to go to bed, you guys. It's almost midnight over there.
Yeah, I'm on EST time.
She's on S time. You know, the S time is the best time. No, probably not.
S time is the best time.
We talked about so much stuff. You know, this is exactly the kind of Spider-Man conversation I wanted to have. Something fun and passionate, but also a discussion that really dug into why these characters and this character in general and his relationships matter. It was such a great conversation, and I'm so happy you were here to break it all down with me. And everybody watching, make sure you follow Sam and support everything she does. Sam, where can the good people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Samantha etc. and on Twitter, Samantha etc_.
Awesome. I love it. And you guys, please like, subscribe, be here for the journey at the Evan edition, of course, on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can listen to us. You don't have to watch us if you don't want to. But I love having you guys in here and a part of the conversation because this is always so fun and everything hits us differently. And I love the people that we have on. Sam is such a great representation of someone that just brings a great, fun, and unique perspective to the things that we love and the things that connect with us. And if you guys want to tune in for the interviews and the conversations that we have, they're fantastic as well. And the next one that we have coming up is Wednesday, August 12th, because we have Lisa Foyles. Actually, this is not big enough. Let's get in here, guys. We have Lisa Foyles as our special guest. She is from Nickelodeon's All That. This is All That. She is an All That star. She is an actress. She is a rock star. She's in a band right now. She's a podcaster. She's been on Malcolm in the Middle, a ton of stuff that we've grown up loving. We're going to have her on. We're going to pick her brain on what it's like being a Nickelodeon star. Everyone loves Nickelodeon. What it was like on All That, which is the mini SNL. And we're going to dive into her background and what she's doing today. So be here, be a part of the conversation. We got some fun guests on. We got Lisa Foyles. We got Samantha, etc. We got all these amazing people. So I hope you tune in and be here for the conversation. Typically, we're on Sundays live because that's when you get it fresh and authentic. On Sundays, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This Sunday, we are not because I will be celebrating my anniversary with my wife. But I hope you guys tune in next time. So on Wednesday, you'll see us on the 12th. On the following Sunday, you'll see us again. We got Insatiable Blonde joining us back. We got Zach Goldburn back. So we got a ton of guests. We got a ton of fun stuff to talk about. And stay tuned because every week is new, great, up-to-date news of the things that we love. And we hope you guys are here for the conversation. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe. Sponsor me. Sponsor me, Paramount. Sponsor me, Amazon. No, it's okay. If you don't want to, it's fine. But I love being here with you guys. Sam, thank you so much for being here. I know it's a great way into having a first conversation with someone you never actually talked to with Spider-Man, but this was fantastic. And I hope we have you back on the show for sure.
Would love to be back. Thank you for having me.
We'll get you in, me and Insatiable Blonde. That'll be a great
That'd be fun.
I think that'll be really fun. Stick around after we end. Just want to thank you again formally. Everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in, being part of the conversation. 2.5 hours. We did a 4-hour live Oscars, but 2.5 hours, Spider-Man, you deserve it. I love you, my friend. You're one of the favorite characters. My son was in my wife's tummy for this one, and I'm going to get him to Spider-Man 5, hopefully when he's like 4 or 5, depending on when it comes out. But that's something I cannot wait to look forward to. So thank you again, everyone. Sam's got to go to bed. I got to eat dinner at 10, I guess. I love you guys. Go watch something fun in the theaters. Go watch a show. Go watch with your loved one or go watch by yourself and have some popcorn, have a drink and enjoy yourself. That's what this stuff is all about. And I can't wait to see you guys again. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.
It's the Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. It's the Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. The Evan edition. It's the Evan edition.